Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Matt Ferlino. Welcome to the March installment of our UConn Alumni Career Webinars. As I said, my name is Matt Ferlino, filling in for my colleague Josh Prue, whom you most likely know. I am the Assistant Director of Alumni Engagement here over at the Office of Alumni Relations, and I'll be the moderator today. So on behalf of the foundation, we're really excited for today's discussion. Today's presentation will feature Heather Jackson Salvatore, who's a personal branding consultant at Post Road Consulting, and she's also one of us. She's a UConn grad. Her background is in public relations and integrated marketing communications. Before joining Post Road Consulting in December 2015, she worked on the beauty and luxury team at MSL Group in New York City, then was hired by one of her clients, Philips, to manage internal and external communications on their consumer lifestyle business headquartered in Stamford, Connecticut. Her main objective for each marketing and PR campaign in her career was to tell a story that accurately portrayed the essence of that brand and ensure it was shared in a meaningful and impactful way. This brand marketing experience has translated nicely into her current role at Post Road Consulting. An eternal optimist, Heather brings a unique perspective to her work at Post Road Consulting and is committed to helping her individual and corporate clients understand the value of developing and leveraging a strong personal brand. As I mentioned, Heather holds a BS degree in communications from the University of Connecticut that we all love. She lives in Wilton with her husband and their 2 children. Before we begin, though, just a few areas of note to help you manage the webinar participation. There will be an opportunity to ask questions by typing them into the question box on your control panel. Feel free to type them in as you think of them, and then we'll address them at the end of the session. Also, a survey will be sent to you as a follow-up, so we'd appreciate it if you'd fill out the survey so we can continue to bring you the types of webinars that you're looking for to enhance your career. This webinar also will be recorded, so you can visit our YouTube page at youtube.com/UConnAlumni. Sometime this week, you could get on there and you'll be able to review it, and also you'll be able to view previously conducted presentations from months past. Finally, be sure to check our events calendar for upcoming webinars and events in your area, and you can do that at uconnalumni.com/events. So without further ado, I'll stop talking and I will kick it over to Heather. Thank you for being here, Heather.
Matt, thank you so much for the kind introduction. I'm truly excited to be speaking with an audience of UConn alumni today, so thank you. UConn prepared me for a career that I'm incredibly passionate about, so I'm grateful for this. And I know this wasn't noted in my bio, but my on-campus job actually as an undergrad at UConn was in the Career Services Department, so it really feels like everything is truly coming full circle right now. All right, so let's get started. I like to share this quote from an article Tom Peters wrote for Fast Company 20 years ago because it proves that the idea of personal branding is not new. I quote, "All of us need to understand the importance of personal branding. We are CEOs of our own companies, Me Inc. To be in business today, our most important job is to be the head marketer for the brand called you." The concept didn't gain real momentum right away, to be honest, but today it's huge. The concept of personal branding has turned into more of a buzzword that employers and job seekers and hiring managers pay a ton of attention to. So think about it. You represent your brand. You build on your own brand with everything that you do, in person and online. People notice your brand. So it's important to be aware about how you present yourself to the outside world every day. Here's a brief agenda for our webinar today. The following slides are going to discuss how to build a strong personal brand, the difference between LinkedIn profiles and resumes, and some networking tips and ways to leverage your connections. Building a strong personal brand. Today you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. Dr. Seuss. I love this quote, and I think that since it was Dr. Seuss's birthday just last week on March 2nd, I thought it would be relevant to share and kick off these slides. Did you know that 65% of people believe that the impressions you make online are just as important as the impressions you make in person? It's true. A personal brand is really just a modern synonym for a reputation, and it begins with a first impression, which people used to believe took place at an interview or a first meeting. But today, things have changed a bit, and a first impression happens long before that. Oscar Wilde famously once said, "Be yourself, everyone else is taken." But to truly be yourself, you have to know who you are, you have to know where you want to go, and you have to know what drives you. And being able to clearly communicate that and answer these questions builds a confidence that is magnetic to others, particularly hiring managers. Think about it. These confident, self-aware people are the types of people that we want to be around, right? They're the type of people we want to buy things from. They're the type of people we want to invest in. They're the type of people we want to endorse and hire. 92% of employers vet candidates with LinkedIn before an interview. We live in a digital world. Google yourself. Have you done that? Do you like what you see? It's important today more than ever to take control of and own your personal brand. Think about your social channels. Do the photos, posts, comments, and goals that you share portray an accurate representation of you? Well, I have some good news to share today. LinkedIn is typically one of the first results that comes out of a Google search for individuals. And the beauty of that is that when we have complete control over what is shared on that platform, it's a great place to share your professional expertise as well as your personality, your vision, your accomplishments, your interests, and your values. Bottom line, personal branding begins with authenticity and self-awareness. It's important to truly know yourself before building your brand and stay true to that via all touch points on and offline. So what exactly do I mean by that? I mean, if you're funny, be funny. If you're a sports enthusiast or you have a unique passion, share that. Don't try to be someone you're not. At the end of the day, people hire people, not just resumes or job applications. Hiring managers want to make sure that you're a good fit, and being comfortable with who you are and your skill sets is attractive to them. Think about your passions, your superpowers, and your values. What drives you? What motivates you? What sets you apart? It's going to make a difference. Your LinkedIn profile versus resume. Simply put, your LinkedIn profile and your resume are not the same. I can't tell you how many clients come to me daily with a resume copy and pasted into their LinkedIn profile. Creating or optimizing your LinkedIn profile is one of the most important things you can do to enhance your personal brand online. And ensuring that you have an updated and professional resume is equally important. Although your LinkedIn page may offer similar categories as a resume, it's actually a full-bodied personal branding vehicle with its own set of rules. It's your chance to tell your career story in your voice and in an impactful way. So I'm not sure if this will come as a shock to most people, but more than 94% of recruiters use LinkedIn to find new candidates. And the fact is, an optimized or a completed page makes you more likely to be found. So what makes a LinkedIn profile different from a resume? One, it should tell a bigger story. That includes details, context, rich media. Your LinkedIn profile is a place for all that additional color that you usually try to cut from your resume to condense it and make it a bit shorter. Two, it should not be tailored like a resume. As you likely know, a resume should be customized for specific opportunities, but that's not the case for LinkedIn. In fact, doing that could make you miss out on opportunities. It's important to balance your messaging about your subject matter expertise with more general items, which will allow your connections to relate to you as a person and see how diverse your skill set is. Three, it provides an opportunity to back up claims. LinkedIn provides an opportunity to literally toot your own horn without being boastful. You can note the awards that you've won or include recommendations from people that you've worked with, and your skills featured can also be endorsed by your connections. Everything can be supported and backed up. Four, it should be more conversational. A resume tends to be a more formal document, whereas a LinkedIn profile is often best received when written in the first person in a more conversational tone that demonstrates your accomplishments and passions. So here are a few LinkedIn profile tips for you. 1, get a great headshot. If you don't already have one, consider investing in a professional headshot. It's the first thing people see when they click on your profile, and you want it to accurately represent your brand. 2, create a strategic headline. Your LinkedIn headline and your photo create the first impression of you, and the keywords you choose will improve your Google search and help recruiters and hiring managers find you. Instead of generic titles like sales rep, think of something a bit more impactful and specific, like sales executive or strategy lead. 3, write a compelling summary. I tell my clients that the summary is the most important yet underused section of your LinkedIn profile. It's an opportunity to share your professional story in your own words. So I recommend that you choose wisely and let your personal brand really shine through here. Share content and visuals. LinkedIn allows you to share compelling content that will make you more interesting to your connections and potential hiring managers. I always tell my clients that if they have any photos or video footage of themselves in action, for example, making a speech or doing their job, it's a powerful way to show your achievements and skills without actually having to say it. And finally, show thought leadership. It's important to be up to speed on the latest trends in your specific field. And being active on LinkedIn involves participating in relevant conversations. This might involve liking a news article or commenting or sharing a blog post or publishing an article. All of these things show engagement and will enhance your credibility within your network on LinkedIn. Before going into the resume section of this presentation, I wanted to call it a quote from a notable career expert and best-selling author, Susan Whitcomb. She said, "Social media and the bombardment of info overload have caused many people to have the attention span of a lit match." Do you notice this in your careers, in your personal lives? I certainly do. For this reason, it's critical to have a strategy in mind when crafting your resume. In the book, Ditch, Dare, Do, which I highly recommend, it notes that in the age of LinkedIn and social media, by the time a hiring manager sees your resume, it's often a bland, late-to-the-game confirmation of previous impressions. That said, a resume is still likely to be the single most requested career document in your executive toolkit. So it's imperative that you use this self-marketing document to make an impact in this so what, make me care, do it fast world that we live in. A few resume tips. Know your brand, your ROI value, and your employer's wants. I think this is fairly self-explanatory, but it comes down to self-awareness and understanding how your skills and experience can bring value to a role that you're interested in. 2, think of potential content in 3 ways: helpful, valuable, or critical. Showcase the critical, edit down the valuable, and dump the helpful. 3, choose your format wisely. Just a few tips here. Include your contact information at the top, open with a strong professional summary, use fonts that are clear and legible, and be sure to submit in a format requested by the employer. For example, if they ask for your resume in the body of an email or sent as an attachment. Be impactful and memorable. I'd recommend that you highlight the one best thing you did in each job and support it with quantifiable accomplishments. Networking and leveraging LinkedIn connections. So LinkedIn is a powerful networking tool, we all know this. There are more than 300 million LinkedIn users in over 200 countries around the world. So no doubt, having a strong LinkedIn presence opens doors to more career opportunities. Many of you may be aware of the big changes that have been taking place at LinkedIn over the last few months. And if you don't have the new LinkedIn user interface by now, you should very soon. To be honest, there have been some mixed reviews about some of the updates, but for a new user and someone who's particularly savvy with other social media platforms already, the majority of the reviews tend to lean positive, which is a really good thing. Here's a snapshot of the new homepage. It's a bit cleaner, in my opinion, and if you think it looks a lot like Facebook's newsfeed design, you're not alone. So what's changed? LinkedIn has worked really hard to provide a more cohesive experience between the mobile app and the desktop browser. Some of the main changes I'd like to highlight for this group include a cleaner, more streamlined homepage. The navigation bar at the top of the page is divided into 7 categories now. Home, which is your feed, messaging, jobs, notifications, me, my network, and search. And on the left, there's a snapshot of your profile page, which looks similar to the mobile app. The content sharing is in the center of the homepage, and it looks a bit different, which is where you can share an article, a photo, or an update. And then there's the news feed below that and timeline, which looks pretty similar to its original form. Overall, the look is more streamlined, but you'll also notice sections of your profile are truncated now. So you'll have to choose your words wisely in order to attract your connections or hiring managers to view more or click to read more. Click the Me icon to view and edit your profile and settings. From a visual standpoint, this section looks a bit different. The photo is now circular and appears front and center, and only the first 2 lines of your summary section, which is where you can tell your professional story, will appear until you click more, like I just mentioned. So make sure that they stand out and that you choose your words wisely. Also, you'll notice that your contact info appears on the right side of the page now, and you can see who's viewed your profile and the articles beneath that, as well as your recommendations. One of the biggest changes, in my opinion, is in search. The new interface doesn't have the advanced search options that it used to, so you can't filter by keyword name, title, and location. But you can still filter by connection level, locations, industries, schools, and companies here. You can also seek out jobs, companies, groups, and schools here. One thing worth noting, saved searches and tagging are no longer available for free. However, LinkedIn's premium option allows for that, and they're offering currently free 3-month access to people who haven't used it before, so something worth looking into. Customized invitations. LinkedIn now prompts you to customize your invitation, which is something I've been trying to convince my clients to do for ages, and that's really a great thing in my opinion. There's also a new real-time messaging feature, which revamped LinkedIn's boring inbox into a chat-like messaging feature. Again, a little bit more like Facebook. The goal here is to entice users to not only log into LinkedIn more often, but also for longer. You'll also notice that with the new platform, there are new tools and insights that might help you connect to your next opportunity a bit easier. For example, if you see a job posting that appeals to you, LinkedIn might suggest someone who works at that company for you to connect with. From a networking and job search perspective, that's gold. The new Open Candidates feature. This is pretty cool. Open Candidates is a new feature that privately signals to recruiters that you're open to new job opportunities. You can specify the types of companies and roles that you're most interested in and be easily found by recruiters looking for talent here. This feature is accessible from the Preferences tab on the LinkedIn Jobs homepage. Everyone has a different strategy for building their network on LinkedIn. There are a couple different approaches. One is to connect with everyone who reaches out to you and accept prompts from LinkedIn to sync up with an email server. I, however, personally prefer a more customized approach and choose to only connect with people I know and trust on LinkedIn. LinkedIn becomes increasingly powerful when you think about not just your first level connections, but your second and third. And what do I mean by that? I mean opportunities come out of your contacts networks. It's not just who you know, it's who your friends, your colleagues, coaches, and neighbors know. Regardless of your strategy, I advise you to take the time to think about how you're positioning yourself on all your social channels so that your connections, your friends, and your followers, both personal and professional, look to you as a thought leader and a contributor, and the person that you see yourself. Establish your credibility without bragging. It's completely natural to feel uncomfortable tooting your own horn in person or on a social channel like LinkedIn. So I advise my clients to do the following. Demonstrate your accomplishments, build your connections, and then have others do the speaking for you. LinkedIn is an excellent place to share your accomplishments without coming off as boastful. Here are a few tips. Ask for recommendations to display on your profile after completing a project or job, and consider returning the favor. Include relevant skills on your profile and allow your first level connections to endorse you. Leverage the special sections in your profile to highlight awards, projects, certifications, and honors, rather than just saying it. And incorporate rich media, such as videos and images. For example, instead of saying, "I'm an excellent speaker," share a YouTube video of yourself making a speech. It's much more powerful and will appeal to recruiters, hiring managers, and many other people in your network on a higher level. Build a strong network and leverage it. The line between work and life is blurring. This is also becoming the case with social and professional networking. Not too long ago, many people went by the belief that LinkedIn was to be used purely to network with professional contacts. And Facebook and Twitter and other social channels were to keep in touch with friends and family. But that's changing. And like I said earlier in this presentation, people want to work with people, right? So if you're comfortable with your professional contacts peering into your personal life a bit, and vice versa, it's my opinion that it's perfectly fine to invite these people into your other social networks, as long as what you're presenting on your social and professional channels is an accurate representation of your personal brand, like we talked about earlier. So that concludes my slides for today. We're finishing up a bit earlier. And I want to thank you all so much for your time. I'm going to open it up for Q&A right now. But before I do that, I want to let everyone know to please feel free to email me if you have any questions or would like to set up a free 20-minute consultation to discuss your needs. My email is listed right here, heather@postroadconsulting.com. And of course, connect with me on LinkedIn. I love connecting with other UConn alumni. So Matt, I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Heather. That was a great talk. We really appreciate it. I think I'll lead off with a few of the questions that have come in, and we can go from there. So the first question came in. It says, LinkedIn seems to be heavily promoting their new premium upgrade. How necessary is it?
Sure. So LinkedIn has a few different premium account options, and that includes their career options, Sales Navigator, Recruiter Life, Premium Business, and LinkedIn Learning. So they're a business, they're a company, they want to make money like many others, so I understand why they're including these options now. I personally don't think that the average LinkedIn user, though, is aware of how powerful the free version is, and will often upgrade without knowing all the facts or workarounds. So some of the benefits of the premium job seeker plan are that you can see a 90-day list of viewers and data insights from people that landed on your profile, or there's some extra insights on how you measure up to your industry peers and other job applicants. Also with InMail, with that premium version, you can contact anyone on LinkedIn, which is nice. I mean, is it worth it? If you're truly using the free version of LinkedIn daily and you feel like you're hitting a wall, then I can't say that there's any harm in trying it to help with a job search. It's really a personal decision and a financial decision, but my biggest recommendation here is to do your best to learn all the powerful features of the free version before upgrading. You may actually surprise yourself.
Okay, next in order, what are your thoughts on applying for job postings through LinkedIn?
Sure. So honestly, I would probably advise against this, applying for a job through LinkedIn. Instead, I advise my clients to use the professional channel to identify contacts through your network, first, second, and third level connections that might be able to bring you closer to a job. My rationale here is, I mean, do you think a hiring manager will be more interested in viewing the resume of a friend when it lands on their desk versus a random online job posting without any mutual connections? I know that we talked about this a bit in the presentation, and I think that leveraging your network to see who you know and who they know before applying to jobs can only help you.
Sure, thanks. The next one, do you recommend that your clients set their LinkedIn privacy settings so that they are anonymous when searching?
Sure. So I get this question all the time, and I have to say it's a personal decision to make. However, I tell most of my job seeker clients, at least, to leave their privacy settings so that their contacts can see their profiles when they're viewing. So to not hide yourself, not make yourself anonymous. If you're a hiring manager, wouldn't you expect someone that you're interviewing to look at your LinkedIn profile before an interview? I think that you'd probably hope that they're doing their homework right. And I think this comes from a sales perspective too. If you're about to work with someone, you would think that they're looking at your LinkedIn profile first. So viewing someone's profile and being visible shows interest. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So if you block yourself from being seen by others, you also won't know who's looking at your profile. So it's a two-part decision. I hope that answers that.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Did you have, I think we had some others coming in. Heather, did you get a chance to check that out? We had one.
Let's see. Cost for premium or prime. So there are different costs that are all listed on the website. I don't know them offhand, but I do know that LinkedIn is offering, typically offers free monthly, or I believe there's a 3-month trial right now to try out their premium versions. So worth a try.
Okay. That's it for questions that have come in. Are there any more questions? Maybe if you wanted to shoot us a note with your question really quickly. We still did have some time.
And also feel free to do this after the webinar as well. It's completely up to you. But if I missed your question or if there's something that comes to you, feel free to shoot me a note at heather@postroadconsulting.com.
Okay, well, yeah, there being no further questions, again, Heather, I just want to really thank you for your time, and we really appreciate everything you had to say, and I think we all could really have some key takeaways from your talk. So again, thank you very much, and we appreciate all that you do for UConn.
Thank you, Matt.
And then finally, as you'll see, our final slide, we do want to let you all know of our next workshop coming up in April, entitled Making Your Employer's Performance Review Serve Your Career. So, as you see on the screen, basically the key elements of this will be you'll learn how to best collect and organize information for your review and your self-evaluation. I think we all have to do that too, and probably find it just as tricky. You'll also discover guidelines for framing your written and verbal input, and you'll hear questions and discussion points that can improve outcomes and opportunities. So again, hopefully you'll be able to sign up for that, and we're looking forward to that in April. But with that, I think that concludes this webinar. And again, a big thanks to Heather, and we will see you all next time. All right, actually, Heather, before we sign off, one good question that came in. Do you know where you can find a sample of a good summary? I'm guessing that's a personal summary for a LinkedIn profile.
Yeah, so summaries come in all shapes and sizes, and I work with clients of all different types and career backgrounds that have different personal preferences for what their summary should look like. And some people like to tell more of a personal story, and talking about from their childhood, how they had different passions or dreams, how they ended up where they are, and can tell that personal story. And some people want to be more cut and dry. I can certainly share examples with whoever asked the question. Feel free to reach out to me, and I can show you a few different options that I share with some of my clients.
Sure, and I could connect you guys via email, so that'll work.
Yeah, great.
All right. Well, that being said, again, big thanks to Heather. Thank you all for attending, and we'll see you next time. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Take care.